Tonight, a recovered COVID-19 patient speaks candidly about her COVID-19 experience, from her stay at the respiratory hospital to stigma and discrimination. The Chief Education Officer announces the plans for the return of some students to classrooms after the Principals Association made clear the opposition to the move. And Guy Joseph puts the CSA on notice. We have the details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Thursday, the 3rd of December, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. Fortuna Udra Chico tested positive for COVID-19 in October. The retired teacher and community leader is being candid about her experience at the respiratory hospital and the treatment of her family following news that COVID-19 had been confirmed in Labrie. Fortunata Udra Chico returned to her home on Wednesday, the 2nd of December, after having left for the hospital on Wednesday, the 28th of October. She says that after feeling unwell with a rash and a cough, she went to St. Jude Hospital seeking medical attention.
When my daughter came from church, I told her I need to go to the hospital because I, not feeling well, coughing, vomiting, and then we proceeded from there. I was tested, went through X-ray at St. Jude's, and I went back home. And on Wednesday, the 28th, I got a call from Victoria Hospital telling me that I have been diagnosed with COVID-19.
After having tested positive for COVID-19, Chico says she was asked to come into the respiratory hospital by 8 p.m. that Wednesday, but after arriving at the hospital at 6:45 p.m., she was asked to wait in her vehicle and was only attended to after 10 p.m.
They did not want us to come in because we were in our private vehicle, I guess, thinking of contamination. So I did not get out of the vehicle not until after 10 in the night. And I was restless, you see, feverish and whatever. But they did come for me at that time. And 2 days later, I proceeded to Tapio on an ambulance to go for a chest x-ray, whatever, to see if there's anything with my heart or my lungs.
Chico says she was required to pay the ambulance fee from the respiratory hospital to Tapio and was also surprised by what she says were the poor conditions at the respiratory hospital.
So I spent 21 days at the hospital. There were 10 of us in downstairs. I guess that's the old nurses' quarters. And we had to share, 10 people sharing 2 bathrooms, 2 toilets. And I will tell you, my dear, not one mask was given to any of the patients. I think some of them got, but what I'm saying, they are looking for funds. They got funding for COVID-19. At least when a patient comes to the hospital, you give them masks. Even in terms of linen, the bed sheets, I think they must have spent almost a week and a half on the bed sheet because I did not know you had to bring that up.
Medical professionals say the majority of people who contract COVID-19 will have mild symptoms. We asked Chico if that was her experience. She explained that she has an underlying medical issue, that of diabetes.
Well, I felt it like a flu, like we always have, that cough. I had a temperature. I had the cough, I had the temperature. I was not able to take the scent of certain things. I had a loss of appetite. Imagine when they would bring out just take a piece of bread and maybe a little tea. But, push away the other things. That is how I felt. But that cough was, when I would bring it up, foamy. And, at one time I felt weak.
After 21 days at the respiratory hospital, Chico was discharged, having tested negative for COVID-19. She spent the next 14 days away from her home out of an abundance of caution due to her elderly and ailing mother being in the household. She says to this day, medical professionals have not been able to disclose to her the source of her infection. Now, as you heard, Fortunata Chico, better known as Eudra, was a long-serving teacher in the community of Labrie. She says after her experience contracting COVID-19, she is willing to take up the cause of educating the community about infection prevention and control measures. She says while there is stigma and discrimination regarding COVID-19, she will not be deterred in her mission to continue to uplift Labrie as she has done for many years.
Little remarks that people are casting, when they pass me kai COVID la, or family, c'est Chico qui mène COVID vini la boui. But let me tell you one thing, my girl. I am a community person. I earn whatever I got from my services to my community. I will let nobody, no one intimidate me. I will not be embarrassed. I did not buy it from a shop. I just do not know where I got it. And I will not be afraid to walk through my community.
She says there is a lot to be done to increase awareness about the virus.
There is another cousin of mine. We entered the same night. We left the same day as well. And she's saying, Teacher, we must support. We must put a group together so that when people with this, when they experience that COVID-19, help them out. If they are not able to, we give them the water, or if maybe toiletries is what they will need, if they cannot afford them, so that they can, because we need to help each other.
That was retired teacher and recovered COVID-19 patient Eudra Chico. Her story was first highlighted by Dr. Merle Clark on her show Healthwise. Today, Thursday, the 3rd of December, the Ministry of Health received a total of 74 negative COVID-19 results, bringing the total number of COVID-19 tests done in country to date to 16,376. No positive cases were recorded in country today. St. Lucia has had a total of 141 recoveries in country out of the 262 that have been diagnosed. At present, all of the active cases are stable and doing well. Given the start of the Christmas season, the ministry notes the traditions of festive celebrations with family and loved ones and urges everyone to give themselves and others the gift of health and safety this year. People are encouraged to follow the protocols faithfully to limit the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Stay with us. Still to come, the Chief Education Officer announces the plans for the return of some students to the classrooms after the Principals Association made clear opposition to the move. Guy Joseph put CSA on notice of legal action, and the St. Lucia National Trust is forced to terminate staff due to financial woes. That and more coming up after the break.